You know that feeling, right? When the person you love most in the world says something completely ordinary and your entire universe just stops. For me, it was a Tuesday. The rain was streaking the living room window, making the streetlights outside look like blurry orange smudges. My wife, Sarah, was curled up on the far end of the sofa, a whole cushion of distance between us. She was tracing the pattern on a cushion with her finger, not looking at me. And then she said it. I just need some space. The words hung in the air between us, simple and devastating. Space. It's such a clean, modern word. It sounds healthy, like something a therapist would recommend. It doesn't sound like a bomb wrapped in a whisper. My mind started racing, trying to find a foothold. What did I do? Was I too distant? Did I work too much? I started apologizing for things I didn't even know I'd done. I promised to be better, to be more present. She just shook her head, her eyes glassy, and said, "It's not you. It's me. I just need to figure some things out." She moved into the guest room that night. The house, our home, suddenly felt cavernous and silent. The silence was the worst part. It wasn't peaceful, it was a heavy, waiting silence. I'd lie in our bed, staring at the ceiling, and I could hear the faint sound of her breathing from down the hall. That small, human sound, which used to be the thing that lulled me to sleep, now felt like 1,000 miles away. I'd send her good morning texts. I'd suggest couples counseling. Her replies were polite, brief. "Thanks. I'll think about it." The woman I'd built a life with for 8 years was receding, like a tide pulling back from the shore, and I was just standing there, helpless, watching her go. This went on for 3 weeks. 21 days of a slow, quiet agony. And then, a crack appeared. I was taking out the trash, something I'd done 1,000 times before. But this time, as I lifted the black bag from the kitchen bin, something clattered to the floor. It was a receipt from a gas station on the other side of town. A station she never used. The timestamp was from 10:47 p.m., 2 nights earlier. A night she told me she was at her sister's, watching movies. A cold, sharp feeling, entirely different from the dull ache I'd been carrying, started prickling at the back of my neck. I wish I could say I was the bigger man. I wish I could say I trusted her completely and threw the receipt away. But I didn't. That cold feeling was suspicion, and it was a poison more potent than grief. The next day, under the guise of running errands, I drove to that gas station. I don't know what I was looking for. Maybe just to see it, to make the ghost of her lie a real place. I parked across the street, my hands gripping the steering wheel. And that's when I saw it. A small, discreet camera mounted under the station's awning. It was pointed right at the pumps. A plan formed in my mind, desperate and shaky. I walked in, my heart hammering against my ribs. I approached the clerk, a tired-looking man with a kind face. I spun a story. I said my wife had lost a very sentimental locket the other night when she filled up her car, a white sedan. I gave him the date, the approximate time. I must have looked as desperate as I felt, because his eyes softened. "We're supposed to have a warrant for that stuff," he mumbled, but he glanced around the empty store and said, "Wait here." He came back 5 minutes later with a laptop. He pulled up the footage for that night, fast-forwarding through the grainy black and white images. And then he stopped. There she was. Sarah's car. Pulling up to the pump. My breath caught in my throat. But she wasn't driving. A man was in the driver's seat. A man I'd never seen before. He got out, started pumping the gas. And then my wife, she got out of the passenger side. She walked over to him. She wrapped her arms around his waist, resting her head on his back. It was a gesture of such easy, familiar intimacy. A gesture she hadn't made with me in months. The world narrowed to that grainy, silent screen. The clerk, seeing my face, quickly closed the laptop. "I'm sorry, man," he said, and he truly sounded it. I drove home in a trance. The pain wasn't a slow burn anymore, it was a supernova, white-hot and all-consuming. Space. She didn't need space. She needed a specific person. And it wasn't me. I didn't confront her. Not then. Instead, I became a ghost in my own home. I watched her. I listened. I noticed the new, faint scent of a cologne on her clothes that wasn't mine. I saw the secret smile she'd give her phone before quickly locking it. The space she asked for was just the room she needed to build a whole new life with someone else, while still living in the shell of the one we shared. The breaking point came a week later. She was going out for a drink with the girls. She was wearing a dress I'd never seen before. She looked happy. Truly, radiantly happy. The kind of happy I hadn't seen in her eyes for a very, very long time. As her car pulled away, I knew. I just knew. I got in my car, my hand shaking so badly I could barely grip the key. I drove towards the trendy part of downtown, a place we rarely went. And there, parked right outside a dimly lit wine bar, was her car. And next to it, the same car from the gas station footage. I parked in the shadows across the street. I didn't have to wait long. Maybe 20 minutes. The door to the bar opened, and they walked out, hand in hand. He was tall, laughing at something she said. She threw her head back and laughed with him, a free, unburdened sound that felt like a physical blow to my chest. He pulled her close, right there on the sidewalk, under the glow of the street lamp, and he kissed her. It wasn't a quick, discreet kiss. It was a kiss that claimed her. And she kissed him back, her hands on his face, completely lost in the moment. I sat there, in the dark of my car, and I watched the rest of my marriage play out on a public sidewalk. I watched the foundation of the life I knew crumble into dust in a matter of seconds. There was no more mystery. No more space. There was only the brutal, undeniable truth. The woman I loved was gone. She had been replaced by a stranger who looked just like her, a stranger who found her happiness in the arms of another man. And I was left with the silence, the ghost of her lie, and the chilling understanding that sometimes, the person who knows you best is the one who knows exactly how to break you.